Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Season 2 of Black Ops 6 and Warzone is here, and with it, obviously, yesterday we ended up getting the full-on patch notes. There were so many changes and updates and adjustments and this, that, and whatever else to go with Season 2. One of the longest patch note videos I've ever posted here on the channel, right? But one specific section of the patch notes was very important. They highlighted it in some of the community updates beforehand. However, with this update, while it does function as sort of a band-aid fix for a larger issue, it unfortunately also seemingly is creating another issue that long-term may not be fantastic for the game. I know this isn't necessarily a huge surprise. Call of Duty fixes one thing, and with said fix, they create another issue. It seems like a lot of the major updates happen, with that same sort of system. Fix this and then break this and that, right? That said, I wanted to talk about this a little bit more because I feel like it's a pretty important discussion for the general player base. And what we're talking about here is the crossplay update that was implemented with Season 2. Now, the focus here, the highlight, is for ranked play. In public matches, whether you're playing multiplayer or you're playing Warzone, crossplay is going to be the same. On PlayStation, you can disable it in the game. However, after every single match you play, you have to re-disable it. Otherwise, it just automatically defaults to flipping back on, which is kind of shady. I think on Xbox, you have to disable crossplay in your console settings, and then that just disables crossplay for every single game you play. So super specific there if you bounce back and forth between a bunch of games. Then obviously on PC, you cannot disable crossplay in pubs. However, with ranked play, they made an adjustment here in Season 2. Now, this is for ranked play in Black Ops 6 multiplayer, and then also ranked play in Warzone as well. And they say, ranked play, crossplay. The following changes are being implemented at the launch of Season 2 to provide players on console with the option to select the platform pool that they want to matchmake with. So this option is going to be available for all PlayStation players and all Xbox players. And in ranked, you can now play with crossplay on, which obviously is what it is by default, and that's what it's been up until this point. So you queue into a game, you're going to play with other people on PlayStation, other people on Xbox, and then everyone on PC across Steam, Microsoft PC Store, and Battle.net. Pretty standard. That's how crossplays always functions. There now, though, is the brand new option to play with consoles only. So this enables matchmaking only with other consoles when playing in ranked. So if you turn this on and you play on PlayStation, you're only going to queue into games with just PlayStation players and then also just Xbox players. So only console players, no PC players whatsoever. Obviously, that is a system, that is a an option there. It's available on both Xbox and PlayStation, obviously. That's going to drastically limit the potential to run into cheaters. Now, it's not going to make it impossible. There are still cheats on console, particularly with Cronus, and what that's going to add to potential gameplay scenarios. But it's maybe in some cases a lot easier to beat somebody who has to depend on a Cronus to aim well in COD versus somebody who's got aimbot and wall hacks, right? So definitely a much safer option and more competitively consistent option. And there's integrity behind that matchmaking if you're playing with just console only. And then there's also crossplay off, which I think is kind of not as ideal now, considering they've introduced a console only option, because with crossplay turned off, if you're on PlayStation, you'll only search for ranked matches with just other PlayStation players. And then if you do that on Xbox, you'll just search for Xbox matches with Xbox players only. You're going to severely limit your chances of finding a game in any decent amount of time. So this in and of itself, as I sort of alluded to at the start of the video, is a band-aid fix. What this is doing is limiting the potential to run into cheaters, because let's be real, not every single player on PC is a cheater. It's a case of a couple rotten apples ruining the whole barrel, right? As the saying goes, like one rotten apple spoils the whole barrel or whatever, right? PC players, the majority of them likely are legitimate, but there are significantly a larger amount of cheaters on PC versus than what you'll ever see on console, right? So when you take PC out of the equation, yes, it impacts a lot of legitimate players, but it also drastically impacts the population of cheaters on the game and really gives you that competitive integrity that you're looking for out of a ranked mode in Call of Duty across multiplayer and Warzone. So this is a band-aid fix. This is going to help console players and specifically ranked players have a more legitimate gameplay experience, which inherently is good. That leaderboard is going to be more legitimate. Your gameplay experience, who you're running into, who you're playing with, is going to be more legitimate. However, none of this right here would even have a need to exist if the anti-cheat updates were better, if Ricochet as a general anti-cheat was better, long before just now. We can obviously reference back to Call of Duty's community update. They detailed a lot of the changes coming with Season 2's update that are now live as of today, and some things they've been doing recently. They've updated detection models for behavioral systems like aimbotting, other data points, including account trust and hardware identifiers to target serial cheaters. So hardware ID bans are going to be more prolific now. It seems like they're cracking down more on aimbot, or at least they say that they're doing these things. They've specifically called out 136,000 ranked play accounts that have been banned since the mode launched across multiplayer and Warzone alike. They're enhancing cross-examination tools focused on reducing the time it takes to account actions, so it'll be quicker to ban legitimate cheaters. New detection and warning systems are also going to be in place for spam reporting. New detection systems are in place if you're queuing with cheaters. If you are willingly queuing with somebody else who's cheating to boost your SR, to boost your gameplay, they're going to crack down on that. If they ban this person's account because they were aimbotting and they realize, oh, wait a second, you've played with them 17 out of their last 20 matches, so you clearly are, aware, you're complicit to this, they're going to issue warnings and potentially issue consequences for you as well. They've also stated that with Season 2, there's a new kernel level driver update, a new server-side protection update that's going out, new tampering detection systems. They don't get into the specifics, but this is something we're really going to see over the coming days. It's going to be impossible to say, okay, first day of Season 2 being out, is cheating still as bad as it was before? Is it fully fixed? Which will never be a scenario, but we'll be able to see in the next couple of days and weeks how much of an impact this update actually has. However, going back to this whole crossplay situation, that's a band-aid update for this being so underwhelming in the past. Ricochet not being able to competently do its job in the past. As we know, it's been a massive failure for a lot of its existence. It's worked to an extent at shadow banning players, at limiting voice comms, and banning some obvious cheaters. But clearly, when we're having the same discussions about cheaters now in Black Ops 6 that we were about, cheaters in Verdansk back in Cold War and Modern Warfare 2019, little has been done to truly counter cheaters over the course of the years, even after Ricochet launched it and was updated numerous times since its inception, right? So because Ricochet was not good enough up until now, they've now had to implement these band-aid fixes. So they give us these new cross-play options, which is good for console. It's going to legitimize the gameplay there even more. That is good. That's objectively a step in the right direction. This shouldn't have had to happen, but we're at that point now. The problem is, though, as I alluded to at the start of the video, while this is a fix and this is a band-aid to the greater cheating issue that needs to be addressed more, and hopefully will, they say they have more coming with Season 3 as well, this does create a large negative effect for PC. Now, based on the last information that we have about Call of Duty, a huge chunk of the player base, close to half of the player base, is on PC. Console likely has grown in recent, months because of Game Pass and everything there, but there's a massive chunk of players on PC. It's not like it was a couple of years ago where it was like predominantly console players and minimal PC players. It's a lot more balanced now. Now, you have to consider ranked plays, player base as a large minority of the general player base. The vast majority of players are more casual and they don't dabble in ranked. So you have your general player base, it's split between console and PC, and then you have this very small subsection of ranked play players. And then that's now going to be split even further between console and PC. And what this does going forward is essentially severely limit, if not entirely kill off, the ranked competition on PC, because anyone who's taking ranked seriously henceforth is going to be on console, right? Players who want to prove they're legitimate and are wanting to prove they can compete against the best of the best without any potential for significant cheats like aimbot and wall hacks and whatever else is available on PC, they're going to switch over to console. They're going to play these seasons with crossplay on for consoles only, right? They're going to do their best to just simply play without cheaters, right? Again, not a foolproof scenario where there's going to be zero cheaters, because you can still do that on console, but not to the extent it's been since ranked has been out, right? However, those who maybe don't have the option to switch over to a console because they don't have one, those who don't want to diminish their gameplay quality by limiting their frames, limiting some of the optimizations that you can have with PC in terms of adjusting graphics more and just having more to customize and everything there, might not want to switch over. So they're going to continue to grind on PC. The problem is now you're going to drastically limit who PC is going to queue with, because most people who are competing on console in ranked play are not playing with crossplay on. There's no reason to. all you're doing is opening the door to be cheated on. Whereas you get the same experience of ranked play gameplay with crossplay on consoles only without the option of being cheated on heavily, right? There's no sense in playing on console ranked and playing with crossplay on unless someone in your party is on PC, right? So what this does now, the new issue that this presents is that PC ranked play, legitimate players are not going to have a large player base going forward. More and more players, if they have the option, are probably going to play ranked on console. And that leaves the PC players, especially those who are legitimate, to play with a dwindled down player base, a much smaller player base. So it's going to take longer to get into matches and kind of just increases the chances in theory of them running into more cheaters, because obviously the people who are cheating on PC ranked play, those losers, are still all going to be queuing and cheating on PC ranked play. You're just not going to be playing with all those console players that previously were on PC because there was no crossplay options, right? So long story short, Band-Aid's solution here is good for console. If you want to have legitimate ranked play gameplay to prove your, self on the ranked leaderboards and climb the top 250 and whatever, and really see where you land in true competition, console ranked play is going to be fantastic. However, while that does fix one issue without really fully attacking the larger issue, it now also means that ranked on PC is now more prone to running into cheaters and has much less of a player base on it, most likely going forward. So I'm curious to see how long this lasts as a solution. If this is just going to exist going forward now, or if this truly is a band-aid and they're working on a much larger fix, potentially for season 3 or sometime down the road, the sooner the better, so that this doesn't need to be the solution. You can just play ranked play, and for that matter, the game on any platform, with or without crossplay, without the constant worry of that guy's cheating, that guy's aimbotting, that guy's wall hacking, this whole party is level 55 and they have everything unlocked. With just overall anti-cheat improvements, which we've been begging for years, this doesn't have to exist in the first place. The fact that it does is disappointing, but at least it is a decent fix. However, it's not a perfect fix because it still has other issues that now surface because of it. So the tricky game they're playing. PC ranked play might be dead by this time next season, depending on how this upcoming season of ranked goes, with so many people that I've already seen saying, I'm going to console this season. So many pros that have been on PC for the past few years are sick of getting cheated on. They're going to console. They're going to play legitimate gameplay, not have to worry about this stuff. Ricochet needs to get its act together. We're going to see in the coming days how good the Season 2 anti-cheat update was, and hopefully Season 3 can compound on top of that and continue to improve the state of the game when it comes to cheaters. But this is an interesting scenario for sure. Obviously, key focus just on ranked play, a minority of the player base. Public matches still have plenty of issues going on as well when it comes to cheating, and there's not really as many solutions with crossplay being an option there. So who knows what the future holds in terms of updates there. Ideally though, like you guys, I'm just hoping for more and more anti-cheat updates that actually are felt in game. That said, that is going to wrap things up for this video. If you enjoyed it, a like would be seriously appreciated. It really helps share the video around and grow the channel. If you are new to the channel, or perhaps you have not subscribed yet, on your way out, hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications, because this is your one-stop shop for everything going on in COD. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.